Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Now, Florida man who claimed self-defense and was acquitted of all charges draws comparisons to Kyle Rittenhouse. A jury found Kyle Rittenhouse not guilty on all accounts on Friday afternoon. On the same day as the Rittenhouse acquittal, another young man who claimed he fired a gun in self-defense was also found not guilty of murder. A jury found Andrew A.J. Coffey IV, 27, not guilty of second-degree felony murder, 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder of a law enforcement officer by discharging a firearm, and 1 count of shooting or throwing a deadly missile. The TC Palm reported on Friday. Around 5 a.m. on March 19, 2017, at least 14 law enforcement officers, including SWAT team members in camouflage pants and shirts with SWAT on the sleeve, arrived at the home in Gifford, Florida. The shooter's father, Andrew Coffey III, reportedly opened the front door to the house and was taken into custody by officers, according to Vero News. Before entering the house, deputies yelled, "Sheriff's Office search warrant," according to witness statements from deputies. Coffey IV told the court he was asleep at the time the SWAT team arrived. The TC Palm reported he woke up and thought he was being robbed. Coffey said he saw what appeared to be a rifle sticking through an open bedroom window, pointed at him. That's when he fired a .45 caliber pistol out of the window, shooting 2 or 3 times. Deputies returned fire with more than a dozen round shots towards the bedroom. According to court records, Andrew's 21-year-old girlfriend, Alteria Woods, was killed after reportedly being struck by 10 bullets fired by the SWAT team, including 1 bullet that entered her chest. Woods' family said Alteria worked as a pharmacy technician who was attending Indian River State College, where she was studying to become a pharmacist. In January, Woods' mother filed a federal lawsuit for misconduct against the deputies who shot and killed her daughter during the early morning raid. In July 2017, a grand jury cleared SWAT team members of any criminal charges in the fatal raid, and a sheriff's office internal investigation cleared them of any violations of policies and procedures. In the elder Coffey's bedroom, deputies said they found marijuana cigarettes, crack cocaine, 10 hydromorphone pills, and 1 oxycodone pill. The younger Coffey was acquitted of all the murder charges after claiming he fired in self-defense. However, he was found guilty of possession of a firearm or ammunition by a convicted felon. Coffey, who has 4 felony convictions, faces a maximum prison term of 30 years at his sentencing on January 13th. Coffey's attorney, Adam Schran, gave an explanation as to why his client wasn't charged with murder in the case. We argued successfully, clearly, that there was some overreaction and overreach by the sheriff's department on that raid. They should have pulled back. They didn't. And this is what happens when you go into a volatile situation without all the information. Many commentators are drawing comparisons to the verdict for Coffey and Rittenhouse, since they arrived within hours of each other and involved 2 defendants, receiving not guilty verdicts in self-defense cases. Many social media users are also using the Coffey verdict in an attempt to dispel the notion that race played a part in Rittenhouse acquittal. Race did play a part. This is what Kwame Brown was talking about, and I'm explaining after I finish reading the differences between these 2 cases. And guess what? I'm going to also throw something out there that shows that it's a double standard still, even though both of these cases are similar as far as only self-defense. Immediately following Rittenhouse's verdict was announced, left-wing talking heads ran to Twitter to claim that the outcome of the trial was a result of white supremacy. Several notable individuals, including NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace, invented a hypothetical situation where Kyle Rittenhouse would have been guilty of murder if he was black. Exactly. And Bubba Wallace is white in NASCAR. Daily Caller editor-in-chief Jeffrey Ingersoll stated, people say Rittenhouse would be found guilty if he were black. Ought to read about the Coffee verdict, which, as it happens, also came down today. Coffee fired on deputies during a raid and made a self-defense case and won. Conservative writer Carmen Sabia wrote on Twitter, if you say Kyle Rittenhouse would have been found guilty if he were black, look at the case of Andrew Coffey. Conservative commentator Rob Smith said, black man acquitted in self-defense ruling after firing back an unannounced SWAT raid that killed his girlfriend. The Second Amendment is for all. Beware those who want you to think it's not. Their intentions are not to protect you. Radio host and legal analyst Michael Lionel LeBron noted, oh, his name LeBron, so we know where he's going with this. Andrew Coffey was also found not guilty in a jury trial by a system that apparently can administer justice to someone who is not white. I believe this destroys soundly the ridiculous myth promoted and propounded by the radical left. Since the Rittenhouse verdict, protests have ignited across the country. Now, this is the story Kwame Brown. Shout out to Kwame Brown Bus Life. Please go subscribe to his channel and keep promoting him. I respect the man. The man, told the truth about what he's gone through, and he's told the truth about the self-defense thing. I agree with how he looks at it. Now, if you think that this case with Coffey and Rittenhouse is the same, jump off the goddamn bridge right now, and we will not help you come back up to safety. Coffey was in his house, sleep. Hold on, key word, house. What does house mean? Or should I say mi casa? What does mi casa mean? So if you're in a casa, in Spanish, that means house for the slow folk, and house, that's English for house, for the other slow folk. Where was Rittenhouse at? Was Rittenhouse at his house? No. Rittenhouse was not drove-in. Bad pronunciation. Let me sound smart because you guys will be like, oh, he said bad grammar, and then you're going to call the grammar police. They could kiss my ass along with y'all. Rittenhouse was driven from Illinois to Wisconsin, 2 different states, firing a legal firearm that was registered to his mother. But in his hands, it's illegal because you know why? He's not of age. And guess what, sir? You can't compare this to the Coffey because you know why? Hold on, drum roll, please. Coffey still was charged with illegally having a gun. Hold on, did y'all not hear me? Hold on. He still was charged with having a gun, which he was a felon. He's not supposed to fire any weapon. Now, let's go to Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse has a gun that's not registered to him. Why wasn't he charged with that? Oh, I know why. Because he's white. And the judge threw it out because the judge was like, boys can be boys. Boys are boys. That worked for them. Don't let Judge Joe Brown light-skinned ass fool y'all just because he's a judge. No, he be sniffing too much. So let's be honest. And that's allegedly, not saying he sniffed for real, just saying he's sniffing that BS. That's what I'm saying. So you guys want to compare a case with a man named Coffey who defended himself against the SWAT. You're trying to use that self-defense on Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse should have been cleared of murder charges and charged with illegal use of a firearm. That's what he should have been charged with. This black man was charged with the firearm. And guess what? He still faces 30 years in prison, guys. So how the hell is the Rittenhouse and Coffey case the same? See, I don't want to sound racist, but y'all might think I am after this. Pink folk, stop with the BS, okay? Stop wearing blinders. Okay? Stop being, oh, the law works this way. No, the law works for you. When you come to court, they charge you differently than they would charge Tyrone and Tyreek. Let's just be honest. If this was Brandon or Sam, you guys would be going home eating some Fruity Pebbles and Fruit Loops. So, Kwame Brown, much respect to you, but when you tried to compare this case to Rittenhouse, I'm sorry, dog, you didn't do your research. I research stuff. I don't jump out here and spew stuff. My page is not a drama page. It's not no narrative-based page. I don't narratize or have a narrative for anything. It's about facts and truth, wrong or right. And in this case, you guys have been debunked. Coffee is still being charged with using a weapon as a felon. So he cannot use a weapon because as a felon, if you read the law, you cannot possess any firearm or get a license for a firearm. Am I correct or am I correct? Rittenhouse was underage. He was out past the curfew time, but that got cleared. Had his mom's gun, which was given to him by his mother, which wasn't licensed to him. And the law in Illinois is you have to be 18 to get a gun license. And in Wisconsin, what is the law? 21. So last time I checked, he's 17. And you got to be 18 in Illinois to have a firearm. And you have to be 21 in Wisconsin. But let's go back to Coffee. Coffee woke up out of his sleep defending himself. They shot his girlfriend. He returned fire protecting himself. But guess what? He had a right to do that. You know why? Because he was at his goddamn house. So, oh my gosh, dog. Y'all think double standard doesn't exist? Y'all really think it don't exist? Look at, now y'all want to talk about, let's just focus on the Ahmaud Arbery. So let's look at Ahmaud Arbery. Do you think if those two white guys were black and Ahmaud Arbery was white as snow and they gunned that white man down, do you think this case would have took that long? I rest my case. DZ out.